The newly unveiled cabinet of Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay reads less like a standard government roster and more like a high-stakes map of transactional politics. Portfolios in this administration appear to serve as rewards for shifting allegiances while acting as strategic insurance policies against future betrayal. In a state where political loyalty has historically been absolute, this lineup signals a dramatic realignment. It captures a critical moment where old party veterans and ambitious strategists who abandoned established ships to gamble on a new political entity under Tamilaga Vettri Kazhagam banner. Whether this fragile coalition of conveniences can truly deliver stable governance remains to be seen, though it undeniably opens an intriguing new chapter for the state. Nowhere is this tension between risk and reward more evident than in the assignment of the highly coveted finance portfolio to K.A. Sengottaiyan. A 10-time MLA and a towering pillar of the AIDMK for nearly half a century, his sudden jump to Vijay's freshman party shook the state's political foundations. Handing the keys of the treasury to a veteran who once managed Jayalalitha's campaign is a calculated gamble. Critics worry that relying so heavily on the old guard might stifle the fresh, transformative economic policies the state desperately needs. Conversely, there is a realistic hope that Sengottaiyan's vast legislative experience will provide a stabilizing hand, lending instant institutional credibility to an otherwise inexperienced freshman government. Pragmatism also shines brightly in the allocation of energy and law to R. Nirmalkumar. This appointment underscores a political style that prizes converted loyalties over traditional ideological purity. Nirmalkumar spent years fiercely defending his previous Dravidian affiliation on public platforms before crossing over, and he has now been rewarded with a massive dual mandate. This significant assignment validates his calculated switch, but it raises valid questions about whether portfolios are being handed out based on administrative merit or merely to reward political defectors. Observers hope, however, that his fierce courtroom and public communication skills will translate into efficient management of these critical regulatory heavy sectors. Meanwhile, the rise of Adhav Arjuna to lead public works and sports development showcases a complete different kind of political currency, the reward of the backroom strategist turned frontline minister. Having previously designed campaigns for rival fronts, Arjuna cuts ties with former allies to engineer Vijay's digital and grassroots offensive. His reward is a powerhouse ministry controlling massive infrastructure budget. Skeptics question whether a career strategist possesses the bureaucratic discipline to manage sprawling public works without controversy. On the other hand, supporters hope that his modern data-driven approach will dismantle old inefficiencies and inject much-needed transparency into public infrastructure delivery. The ideological and educational narrative of the state will be driven by Rajmohan, who secures a vast portfolio combining school education and Tamil development, information and culture. Giving him the state's megaphone ensures that the TVK's new age political brand is balanced by a calculated emphasis on linguistic pride, a strategic move to appease traditional regional sentiments. While some fear this appointment might prioritize performative identity politics over deep systemic educational reforms, there is hope that Rajmohan can bridge the gap modernization-wise, making the state's curriculum globally competitive while preserving its rich cultural roots. The economic and essential services engines have been placed in equally strategic hands. S. Keerthana has been designated as the Minister for Industry, stepping in as the sole woman in this cabinet. As the primary face of the state's economic diplomacy, her appointment raises concerns about tokenism given the stark lack of gender diversity elsewhere in the lineup. Yet there is widespread hope that a fresh perspective will revitalize foreign investment drives. For daily essentials, P. Venkataramanan takes over food, civil supplies and price control. He faces the daunting task of balancing corporate industrial growth with grassroots consumer stability, leaving voters anxious but hopeful about inflation control. On the social welfare front, KG Arun Raj, a former Indian Revenue Service officer, takes over the complex machinery of health, medical education and family welfare. While cynics wonder if a former tax bureaucrat can empathize with grassroots public health crisis, his technocratic background offers hope for a more streamlined, corruption-free healthcare delivery system. To round off the team, Dr. KG Prabhu takes quiet control over natural resources. He will keep a strict vigil over the lucrative and controversial minerals and mine sector, a role that sparks deep skepticism regarding corporate influence, yet carries the hope of genuine environmental oversight. Yet amidst the strategic rewards handed to high-profile defectors, the Chief Minister has taken aggressive steps to protect his own flank, breaking a 50-year regional tradition by personally retaining municipal administration, urban and water supply alongside the home and police departments. Critics argue this dangerous centralization of power undermines cabinet collegiality and hints at deep paranoia regarding his new allies. However, others view it as a necessary safeguard, hoping that keeping tight control over local civic budgets and security will prevent the government from fracturing under internal rivalries. He has balanced this urban concentration by placing his absolute loyalist, General Secretary N. Anand, who climbed the ranks through Vijay's fan clubs rather than established political pipelines, as the clear number 2 handling rural development. This appointment breeds doubt about whether a political novice can handle the vast complexities of rural governance, balanced only by hope that his direct grassroots connections to the people will bypass bureaucratic gridlock. Ultimately, this cabinet represents a delicate equilibrium between reward and caution. Vijay has distributed immense economic heft to seasoned turncoats and infrastructure muscle to strategists, fully paying his political debts. But by centralizing civic and security powers within his own office, the new Chief Minister has ensured that while his ministers hold the titles, he alone holds the reins. Whether this architecture results in an authoritarian gridlock or a highly disciplined, successful administration remains the defining question of the new regime.